Hello guys and welcome back to Makeup FOMO. Today we are using the Persona Identity palette. I'm going to do a look with this gorgeous palette. I'm so obsessed with it. I'm starting with the shade Humble. Per usual, I always just need to set my lid with like a matte, like bone or cream shade kind of color, and that's what this is in this palette. And I'm just using that as a nice base to get the look started. And then with the shade Charming, which is kind of like this mid-toned, kind of warmish brown, I'm just going to throw that all in the crease just as a transition shade. I'm keeping it kind of above the crease, but I'm also dragging it all the way into the inner corner. Since we are going to do kind of a halo eye with this look, I wanted to make sure all of my crease shades went all the way from the outer corner of my crease all the way in. And then with the shade Audacious, which is like a burnt red orangey, I just love this shade. And I'm putting that kind of on like the outer corner. I'm doing that move that I typically do with my crease shades that I'm putting in the outer corner. I kind of like stamp and then wiggle and kind of blend it that way. So I'm putting most of the color on the outer corner there, and then as you can see, I'm just blending it slowly from there all the way to the inner corner, and then kind of diffusing it up a little bit towards the brow bone. And then with the shade Chic, I love the combination of like purples and oranges. There's just something about them together on the eye that I just love so much. So I'm packing that on the outer corner with a smaller, more tapered blending brush, and then also on the inner corner, like I said, we're doing a halo eye, so I'm just kind of stamping it and packing it in place right here, and then kind of connecting it through the crease so that the both ends kind of meet each other. But I'm mostly just placing it right now because we're going to obviously add the center shade and then we're going to blend it out more, so I'm just making sure that I have the pigment down first. And then I'm taking my NYX eyeshadow base, which is just a pure white. It's essentially like almost like a white concealer type thing. And I'm using this just to carve out the center of my lid where I want the, spotlight portion of the halo eye to be. So I'm just carving out a little portion in the center of both eyes with this. This will not only help it really stand out, but it'll also help the shimmer shade really stick to it, so you don't have a ton of fallout or anything, and it'll just make that shade really pop. Then I'm taking the shade Seductive, which is one of my favorite shades in the palette. It's this really shimmery, gorgeous, like rose gold shade. And I know this looks a little bit messy right now, but we're going to clean it up as we go. My lids are a little bit hooded, so whenever I have like a concealer or something on my lid and I open my eyes, it transfers up above the crease. But I clean that up eventually, so just bear with me. I go back to the shade Chic then, just as usual, kind of like I said before, we have to reapply it so we can re-blend it in with the Seductive shade, and then I'm going to do it on either end, and then I'm also going to do it right above the Spotlight shade right there, the Seductive, just to kind of clean up where that white kind of transferred above. But I just love this lid shade, it's so pretty. So now we've kind of cleaned up the mess a little bit and it's starting to come together. And then I'm also just using my finger to pack on a little bit more of that Seductive shade. I always just feel like your finger packs the most punch, so I just wanted to add a little bit more. And then I'm going back into the shade Audacious, which is that kind of orangey burnt red shade, and I'm just using this to blend out. I really wanted there to be a very obvious purple and a very obvious orange in kind of the gradient of this whole look, so I blended everything out with that shade. With the shade Sassy, which is also a really gorgeous shimmer in the palette. All of the shimmers in this palette, all the shades in this palette are just amazing, but I'm using the shade Sassy as my inner corner highlight, and then I also apply it to my brow bone, and then you'll see me apply a tiny bit of it right to the center of the lid. So even though the Seductive shade is already the center, I put this in the center of that center, really concentrated just to really bring the center of my eye forward and make it really pop. So then I'm taking the two crease shades, Audacious and Chic, and using those just to blow out the lower lash line a little bit. So I'm taking Chic, which is the purple shade first, and I'm just concentrating that just to add a little bit of definition. And then I'm using Audacious, which is the orange shade, to just blend that out. So basically the top lid and the lower lash line kind of match. And this is what we're working with so far. I'm going to take my L'Oreal Kohl Kajal eyeliner like I do every single time to tight line. And then of course I'm going to curl my lashes like always, and I'm going to use the Monsieur Big. This is the Lancome, one of their newest mascaras. It's just a sample size, but I freaking love this, but it's just so expensive, so I don't know if I'm down to pay that much for mascara, but it is so good. I love this mascara. And then I use the Tarte's mascara. I like this one because the bristles are pretty small, but it's very black formula, so I like using that for my bottom lashes. And this is the completed look. I did curl my lashes again just to give them a little bit more oomph, and I threw on a lip color, and this is what we are working with. I freaking love this palette so much. So that is all for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time in our next video. Bye guys.